All right, let's talk about Mistral. We're going to crack the code on Europe's big answer to the AI giants. If you've ever used it and felt like, something's just not quite clicking, well, you're in the right place. We're going to dive into what really makes Mistral tick and, more importantly, how you can get it to sing for you. So, does this sound familiar? You take a prompt that works absolute wonders on another model, you copy-paste it into Mistral, and the result is just kind of meh. It's a super common frustration, but here's the thing, it's not the model's fault. It's a strategy issue. And that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Why does a perfect prompt just fall flat somewhere else? Well, it's because not all AIs are created equal. They literally have different DNA. And to get amazing results, you've got to understand the thinking, the philosophy behind the tool you're using. Okay, so let's get right into it. Let's unpack Mistral's DNA. This is key because it wasn't just built to be another competitor, it was built from the ground up with a uniquely European point of view, and getting this is the absolute first step to mastering it. Just take a look at this timeline, it's wild. In less than a single year, Mistral went from their very first open source model to dropping state-of-the-art giants that compete with the biggest names out there. The speed here is just incredible, jumping from those foundational models to really sophisticated mixture of experts or MO architectures. It's just really impressive. And this table right here, this is where it all clicks. You can see the fundamental difference in philosophy. It's not just another company, it's a whole different mindset. Where a lot of US-based models are shooting for global dominance, Mistral is built on this idea of AI sovereignty for Europe. It's designed to be aware of things like GDPR and the EU AI Act right from the start. And it's truly open source. That's a huge deal. So why should you, as a developer or a business owner, actually care about this? Well, for one, it's about not being totally dependent on US tech. But maybe more importantly, with the new European AI Act, using a model that's already thinking about transparency and safety gives you a massive head start. And of course, GDPR compliance isn't just an add-on, it is baked right into its core. Okay, so we get the why. Now for the fun part, the how. To really unlock what Mistral can do, you need to shift how you think about prompting. You need to stop being just a requester and start being more like a conductor of an orchestra. So what exactly is this Mistral prompting strategy? The key takeaway is this. You have to be explicit. You got to spell things out. Be super clear. But, and this is important, that's not a weakness. It's actually its superpower. It lets you tap into its incredibly deep knowledge of European culture, languages, and all those regulations to get results that are way more precise and relevant. And here's how you do it, broken down into 4 simple steps. Super easy to remember. First, you tell the model who it is. Give it a job. Then you tell it where it is. Give it context. Next, you tell it exactly what you want it to do. And finally, you tell it how you want the information presented. Nail these 4 steps and you are golden. Now, theory is cool and all, but let's see the proof. Let's see this stuff in action. Because the difference between a generic prompt and one that's optimized for Mistral is, well, it's night and day. You got to see these examples. Okay, check this out. The bad prompt, write a privacy policy. So vague, right? You're just going to get a generic template. But now look at the good prompt. Bam, you are a GDPR compliance expert. See what we did there? We gave it a specific expert role and put it right in a European context. That's Mistral's home turf. The result? A relevant, legally aware document, not some copy-paste job. This one is a game changer if you work with multiple languages. Translate this is what almost everyone does. And you get a clunky word-for-word translation. But instead, when you tell it to be a professional translator for a specific region, and you add those little cultural details, like using the formal C, well, you're not just translating anymore, you're localizing. It's a huge difference. Now this is a pro-level technique right here. Few shot examples. You're basically showing it, hey, do it like this. The bad prompt is a total roll of the dice. But by giving it just a couple of examples, a few shots, that are already framed in that European context, like a French GDPR request, you're teaching it your exact style, your tone, and your compliance focus for any other language. So you've got the mindset, you've got the techniques. Now, where do you actually use this? How does this all come together to give you a real strategic edge in your work? The simple answer is anywhere that European context is king. If you're building an app that needs to be GDPR compliant from the ground up,
generating content for a bunch of different European countries, or working in sensitive fields like healthcare or finance, Mistral was literally built for you. Oh, and the open source models are an absolute game changer for cost-effective on-premise solutions.
But look, let's be smart about this. A good developer knows when not to use a tool, right? Mistral isn't a silver bullet for every single problem. If you need something that just works out of the box with zero prompt engineering, other models might be a bit more forgiving. Same goes if your work is exclusively for non-European markets, or if you need to analyze images and video.
So, if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's that the era of the one-prompt-fits-all approach, it's pretty much over. We're watching AI become more specialized, more regionalized, which leaves us with a really big question to think about. Is learning to speak these different AI dialects the next make-or-break skill for every single developer in the space?